Hello everybody, it's Eva Melton, and I wanted to talk to you as 2019 comes to a close about if there are things and spaces in your life God has moved on from that you need to let go of. That you really need to let go of. Possibly God was there. It was a season for that situation to be fruitful. Maybe it's relationship, friendship, a business deal, or even maybe you need to move on from some offense that happened. But when we look at 1 Samuel chapter 16, we find an odd opening to a book. We find the man of God, the prophet, the priest, the judge, Samuel, grieving. A man wrought with emotion so much that God literally has to awaken him and literally tap him on the shoulder and say, Samuel, how long will you grieve? And Samuel had every right to grieve. He was grieving because God had rejected the first king of Israel, Saul. And he had anointed Saul at the command of God, and he had given the word of God to Saul on multiple occasions. And Saul just chose to be disobedient and to be a king the way he wanted to be king, and not according to the way that God that had anointed and appointed him to be. And so God rejects him because of his disobedience. And Samuel and Saul go on their own way. And after things end, yes, we have a moment and a period to grieve. And we should let go and release those emotions and bring all of our being into alignment to wherever God is. So the question I have for you this morning is, are your spiritual eyes so filled with tears over what happened in that last season? Sometimes it's not what happened, but what didn't happen in that last season, that you cannot see the new thing that God is doing. Sometimes water under the bridge has to be just that, water under the bridge. You cannot keep turning over the stones of your past, trying to see what we could do differently, have said differently, what may have made that season been better. But guess what? If the season has ended, the season has ended for that. And so you want to be where God is. There comes a point where you must get all of your being, all of your resources, your emotions, whatever it takes to be where God is and be in alignment with God. Sometimes we're in places because of our network is there, our family and our friends are there, but for us, God is no longer there. Be on your way. That's what the NIV version says to Samuel. God says, be on your way to Bethlehem, to Jesse's house. Be on your way to where God is. Sometimes we need help with that, right? Sometimes you need to hear the word of the Lord through your pastor or some spiritual mentor in your life. Sometimes if it's financially being on your way somewhere that you need a financial advisor. Sometimes if you're dealing with trauma or a certain level of emotion, you may need spiritual counselor or the help of a professional counselor. But whatever the case may be on your way, because I personally don't want to be anywhere in any space operating that God is not. I don't want to be anywhere that God is not. And if that is you, let us be on our way. 2020 is around the corner, and sometimes we don't know what God has for us around the corner. I believe 2020 personally is going to bring us things that we don't even know how to pray for, that we don't even know how the spiritual wisdom to even say, oh God, I need that, give me that. God is bringing us some things, but if you're going to be stuck in January 2019 when January 2020 comes, you won't be ready for what God is doing and what God is doing now. So I ask you to assess yourself where you are, the places that you go, where you go, who you hang out with, your business deals, your romantic relationships, your friendships. What do you feel and sense about those spaces? And if God is no longer there, be on your way. And here's the thing. You don't really have to know what the next thing is to align yourself. Because even when God is talking to Samuel, he does not know that it is David, the David that is out with the sheep, that is the next king that God has chosen. But Samuel has to be obedient, and God says, fill your home with oil, because you're about to anoint another king. Get down to Bethlehem, to Jesse's house. There's another king waiting on you. And so you may not know what it is, who it is, what situation it is, but if God is nudging you to prepare yourself, we know. We know oftentimes we want to overlook it, but we know when God is telling us to move, we need to start progressing. Align yourself, prepare yourself for the new thing that God is doing. God is ushering in a new season, and it is my prayer and my belief and my desire for you to be on your way and to be into the position. I want to be in position for what God is doing. It's been great talking to you in 2019. I hope to see more of you in 2020. We're going to switch things up a little bit. Some of my friends will be coming in to help have these spiritual discussions with me on video. But do this for me. If this video blessed you, go ahead and share it with a friend. And also, there's a red subscribe button right there at the bottom of the screen. If you're seeing this on YouTube, go ahead and click subscribe, because you're going to want to see what we're doing in 2020. Be on your way, and I will meet you there. But most importantly, God will meet you there. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.